What's up, everybody? Jackson here, and today I'm going to be talking about World of Warcraft and how I have dipped my beak back into it with my little brother Crumb. We re-upped our subscription on the basis of we're going to be trying out vanilla, the classic server when it goes live. But the thing about it is playing through the new stuff, which I've enjoyed the story. I've enjoyed there's lots of things I don't want to get into that are spoilery, but I enjoy the way the world is moving. I'm enjoying it more than I did Pandaria, more than I did Draenor, which I think Draenor is just a horrific piece of content that should have never occurred. It opens up all sorts of cans of worms and fucks with the lore and the world building, and it's just not good. But even Legion, which I did enjoy a lot of, did not feel to me as impressive as this new stuff. And that's because for sure they're driving home this World of Warcraft or Warcraft 3 nostalgia, which is a huge reason that I love Warcraft to begin with, or Blizzard to begin with for that matter, is the Warcraft series. And Draenor did it as well, but it did it fucking horribly, and that was because it was tied to the movie. But regardless, this newest expansion is doing that, and so I'm aware that it's definitely a nostalgia experience for me. Like, I'm probably enjoying it more than someone who never played Warcraft 3, and I would enjoy it more than someone who had played Warcraft 3 but wasn't as into that story, who liked. And so for me personally, this new stuff, my only problem with it is an issue that goes back to Classic that will not be removed or fixed when Classic comes out. And how Blizzard with Classic, it's like a solution to a problem that they do not understand. And it's a band-aid at best. And I'm not going to say it's not going to help stem the flow of player bases fleeing your game, canceling monthly subscriptions. There's a lot of people just leaving you, Blizzard. You know that better than anyone because you have the numbers. And this is a problem that's always existed. And I think that where we've come to now is a fault of two things. The first being that Blizzard is World of Warcraft is a victim of a subscription-based business model, and a victim later on of its complacent player base that's okay with that, and is even more than okay with that, is willing to hand over extra money on top of the subscription service for cosmetic mounts, all sorts of transmogs, things like that. You can just buy gold and buy whatever you want out of the auction house now. Like, all bets are off in that aspect, and it should just be free to play, but it's not. And since it's not free to play, but even if it was free to play, they'd be trying to bleed you because that's the purposes of it. That's why I'm so excited for Warcraft 3. I'm excited to go back to a time when Blizzard delivered a game that was meant to be a full experience and not artificially block the player from reaching the end. Vanilla, a very good example in Vanilla, just to mention, because you need to remove your rose-tinted glasses. And I'm not saying you're not going to find a lot of enjoyment and nostalgia going back into that experience, but you can't let those rose-tinted goggles block your vision of the problems that were apparent in Classic, that were apparent in BC, that were apparent in Wrath of the Lich King, that were apparent all the way through Kata, and became streamlined in Kata, and then became more of a problem in Pandaria, moving forward to now where we are in BFA. And that is the subscription-based business model and the artificial time grind that's meant to drag out the player's time to keep them forking over that $15 a month. And now, on top of that, is very cosmetically driven towards incentivizing people to buy these mounts for a ridiculous sum of gold by buying gold, or buying 7 months subscription of WoW for a flying dragon mount, or pre-ordering Warcraft 3 Reforged without a solid release date for a fucking catapult mount, right? And this is the thing that's my issue, is the game has moved forward in a lot of ways, but backwards in others. The talent tree being moved into this, so the only way I could explain this is, let's say back in Classic you were playing a warrior, and you were an arms warrior, and you were built for that, and you were built for whirlwind and all that shit. Well, you'd still have access to all of your defense, your tank skills. I can't remember what the skill tree was called. You'd have the Fury. You'd have access to all of these other skills regardless of whether you're in that specialization. The toolkit in through World of Warcraft, I think it changed at the end of Kata. But World of Warcraft up to that point allowed the player to play around with all of the specs toolkits, but only specialize in one set of them. And the beauty of that is like, say you're a fire mage. Well, you can still use Frost Nova. You can, and I mean, you probably still can. They may still like give that to you because a lot of skills are universal throughout the specs. But the point is that you wouldn't have access to other things that they would have, and you would if you were playing in the classic version of it. So that's a simplification and a dumbing down of the character progression, because going from, Jesus, I can't even recall how many talents there were that you got through 1 through 80. I think it was 71 maybe, or 70, because I think you unlocked them at 20. So either way, recently the most experience I have with this, the freshest it's on my mind, is I had played a Watlicky wild main server. So that's what I'm basing this on. And when I had first started World of Warcraft, it was towards the tail end of BC. So I never really got that classic experience. But at the same time, it didn't evolve too radically moving forward, aside from like conveniences, quality of life improvements, things like that. And when the cataclysm hit and shook the world of Azeroth, it also shook the world of the talent trees. It shook the world of, having classes that felt unique based on the race they were, or the faction they were playing, and things like this. It got convoluted and weird in the cataclysm. And the problem with the game now is these artificial grinds have become more apparent. Flying was introduced during the Burning Crusade. You would get to Outland and you would be able to purchase flying at Honor Hold, or I can't remember the Horde version of that, respectively. You would be able to, if you didn't have enough gold right away, you could farm reputation for those factions, and they would cut you a discount at a later date on either, I can't remember if it was either on the actual flying training or the purchase of the mount, but you did get a discount at a certain point if you did those rep and grind it up, you know what I mean? But a stacked player at level 60 who just entered Burning Crusade in the beginning, they would have so much gold stockpiled from playing Classic and all this that they would be able to get that within a reasonable time frame. Now, I don't know if it was different back then, but I know that once you begin introducing flying into the world, you're opening a box. Now, in this box is the expectation when designing maps geographically, designing areas geographically, there's going to be a lot more verticality. There's going to be a lot of things, because now you're accounting for the player being able to fly. And it's not all land-based, it's flight-based. And this is a good thing until you get to the newest expansion where it's locked behind a rep grind. And in order to obtain flying, you have to get an achievement which asks you to hit revered with all of the factions, which is time-based, because, and it's not just time-based where it's like, okay, back in the day, I could go to Stratholme and I could rip through the undead and I could rip off the commanders, insignias from their chest, signifying them as a high-powered Scourge opponent, and take that back to my bounty master and be like, hey, look, I took that son of a bitch down. And he's like, sweet, I like you more, here's a little more reputation. Where it's in the wild farming reputation, no, this is them saying, you're allowed to get this much a day. You can do this many world quests that are associated with that faction, and you can do this many dailies that are associated with that faction. Then you come back tomorrow. Now, I've stated previously in many videos that I don't mind reputation farming. I enjoy the idea of reputation farming. Grim Dawn is one of my favorite ARPGs for a reason, and that's because there is like a reputation grind to it, and it's done the way that I think it should be done, and that is that it increases if you're killing an opponent of the opposing faction, an enemy of the opponent, or of the faction you're trying to earn rep with, right? So you kill any enemy in Grim Dawn that's opposed to, I can't remember any of them off the top of my head, they'll give you rep for that, right? You kill some Chthonians, you get some rep with the undead faction or the Holy Fire faction, I forget their names. Anyway, it's not reputation farming that's the problem to me. What the problem is to me is when you've dictated, okay, you're going to do it this for this amount of time. So by the time I even obtain flying for this latest Battle of Azeroth stuff, I'm not going to care anymore. I'm going to be done. Because I will have done all the content, because in order to get the flying, I'm going to go through the content. So the purpose of having the flying at that point becomes an alt character. But I've grinded your endgame with this Heart of Azeroth grind. I've grinded your endgame with this reputation factions. I've done all of this on my main character, on my Orc Warrior, and I do not want to do it again. I do not want to do it again. And instead of giving me like, oh, well, you're exalted on this faction on your alt, we're going to transfer that reputation to your other characters since you've done the grind. The thing is that that's the end game to them. And the end game is built around wasting your fucking time. Waste my time, Blizzard. I enjoy you wasting my time if it's something worthwhile to be wasting my time for. But cosmetic mounts at the end of a fucking 4-month grind or 2-month grind or however long it takes, if you have the ability and capability to sit down and do like 3 hours worth of dailies every day. If you're not doing that, it's taking months to get this. Okay? If you don't have the fortitude and the time to pull that off, well, fuck you. You're not going to get flying on your other characters. You're not going to, you know what I mean? And you better just keep paying for the next month so you can do it when you can do it. And the next month when you can do it and you can do it. And this is where it becomes a victim of that subscription-based MMO model that has been its problem since Classic. Where you died in an instance and you're running for 15 minutes to get back to the instance. And then you're running for another 5 minutes to catch up where you were in the instance. Raid or dungeon. Doesn't matter. Or, you know, you're not getting riding until level 40, right? So you're just on foot in these massive zones, walking really slow. And it's only because they're extending gameplay time. They only lowered the mount requirement to level 20 when Wrath of the Lich King had been in full swing and there was tons of content. So there was more time for them to burn you at the end. So they're like, here, we'll let you get there a little sooner. Right? And they lowered them out from 40 to level 20, and then from 60 to level 20, and then 100 to level 40, right? Because they figured, fuck it, we'll get them there too long. It doesn't matter because at the end game we have this time wasting structure built out, and now it's simplified down to the only point to get these factions to exalted or even revered is to gain flying. Because you're not going to get any worthwhile gear. You're going to get better gear outside of the factions 100% of the time. I have never, in my entire time playing Battle for Azeroth, ever gotten an upgrade by purchasing it with reputation bonuses, right? Not once have I done that. I've always gotten them from the war fronts, or recently this Benefic gear from the new Zone Najatar, which is very fun, and it's a good way to add something for the player to have control of where you can upgrade your armor with the armor pearls and things like that. I like all this stuff, but my problem is that it's just basic. And the 2 new zones, as interesting as Mechagon may be, as interesting as Najatar may be, once I've played through them a handful of times, I'm done. And I don't really feel like doing it anymore. Okay? Because it's not like this is a story that's progressing. It's staying the same. It's the same dailies on repeat, in the same zones on repeat, doing the same thing on repeat. And it just feels like Blizzard fundamentally misunderstands the problem with their game. You can't design a world for flying and then take flying away from the fucking player until they are done with the fucking content. Because now it's like, wow, cool, I get flying. What do we do now, boys? Oh, nothing? Because we've done it all. We're exalted with all the factions. I don't need to do world quests anymore. I'm revered with the Mechagon and that Najatar, so I could still grind that to exalted, I guess, if I gave a fuck to do another 2 weeks worth of fucking dailies in order to get there, of not only just dailies, but the same fucking dailies, and then have the main story quest hidden behind these dailies, so you have to do enough of these dailies before they'll give you the next war front or war campaign quest, right? And it's just a time bleed, man, and it's artificial, and it's not interesting, and it's lazy. And then you look at the progression of the game, and you look to where it's come, where they're selling gold, and not only selling gold, they're selling cosmetic mounts, and not only cosmetic mounts, the reputation faction's only point of doing them is to get mounts. And it's, then there's the transmogrifier, and this fixation on giving people shit out of raids. Like, I get weapons out of raids that are blue, that are fucking 100 item levels lower than what I currently have equipped. I write a ticket like, I think your game made a mistake. It gave me a fucking piece of gear out of the raid that's a blue item level, fucking, like last expansion. Some fucking dude replies, that's a cosmetic fucking transmog, just in case you didn't have the appearance. So we could get, what? What? You're rewarding players in current content raids with blue item level last expansion so that they can get a cosmetic transmog? Look, I got a Polyon, motherfucker. I don't need any more weapon transmogs. What I need is a better weapon, and I can't seem to get one no matter how hard I try. How cool would it be if I, raised the reputation up to a maximum level? They're like, here, come here and buy a useful item. No. Professions have been shat on. Professions no longer matter in this new stuff. And it's like the raid finder is a huge leap forward in my opinion. Being able to do the content in the new raid, have the experience of the raid with, sure, not as many mechanics per boss, but mechanics on bosses. That's a huge upgrade for me. That's something that is going to drive me away from Classic. Because I don't want to have to spam trade and then get hit with, link me your achievements. Link me your character from actual Classic WoW. And if you've ran this fucking thing or you have this achievement, then maybe we'll let you run with us. Go to this website and fill out a fucking application to take the spot. Because we don't believe that you're good until you can prove it on fucking paper with nerdy peen, son. Right? It's nice for me to be able to say, I just want to get the story of this content. I want to have access to the content that I paid for, that we paid for. Let's have access to the content we paid for. And I don't have to fucking try to find a random group somewhere and deal with that shit. I can just queue, and I meet really cool people in the raid finder. I have talks with people in the raid finder when we're waiting for positions to fill and stuff. Like how I'm like, I just love being able to do this content without having to deal with that shit. And there's so many people that agree with me that have that same feeling towards the raids where it's like they want to be able to fucking do the content and experience it, but they want to be able to do it on their time, at their leisure, and they don't want to have to deal with the headache of these mechanics that are meant to draw it out. And so, I don't know. I don't think Classic is the problem. I think an over-bloated content is a problem. There's too much content, and there hasn't been a world reboot since Cataclysm. And that's a problem narratively for me. That's a problem narratively for me when I know that the newest expansion is about Horde versus Alliance and all this, but when I start a new tune, everything I read about is Garrosh and the Cataclysm and King Rin and the Cataclysm and Deathwing and the Cataclysm and the elements are out of order and all of this. And you have time capsuled. You did exactly what you did with fucking Watlicky and BC. Is you've time capsuled this content to that day when fucking Deathwing woke up. And sure, it was a good marketing technique and it added fucking, a great way for you to start this world building with this new expansion, but then you never did it again. You didn't include fucking BC in it. So once I get through the first half of your Cataclysm shit, now I'm going to BC. And now this is another content pack that's just time-stamped to that time. And we're going to find Terralion. We're going to go do what we've already done. The story is already resolved. That has already been acknowledged, but we're going backwards in time to do that. Because we're not going to update this zone when we redo Cataclysm zones. We're gonna leave BC alone, and we're gonna leave Watlicky alone. So then I get to Wrath of the Lich King, and it's like, oh, well, Arthas is still alive. Wait, what? I thought he died, and Bolvar took his place. How come there wasn't a reworking of that? How come you didn't just rework that into a way where it's like Ner'zhul and Bolvar are constantly at war with each other inside of the fucking armor, and so there's like a power of wills going on. Sometimes Ner'zhul wins and there's incursions upon the Alliance and Horde. Sometimes, Bolvar wins and he's able to hold the Lich King back. You could do that. Tell that story. Update it for the Cataclysm, right? But then you move forward and then you go back to the Cataclysm and there's Pandaria shit, right? And Pandaria is just so convoluted and unnecessary that I can't even begin to understand it. There's some sort of like storm thing and like there's demons from fucking, it's like, what is going on with Pandaria? I don't know. I didn't play through it and I probably never will because I honestly, when I start tunes, I can't get through the Cataclysm shit. I get so bored of it, I can't even progress any farther. I eventually just stop leveling that character, go back to my orc and do some endgame stuff, and I'm getting bored of that now. So I'm probably done. Again. And I've only been playing it for a week, Blizzard. There's a problem here. Then you get to Draenor, Warlords of Draenor, and it's a giant hole blasted through the lore, through the fabric of reality, and it makes BC fucking pointless. Remove one of these things. One of these things doesn't need to exist. We either have the BC, the Draenor that's been blasted and destroyed by the Legion, or we have this in the middle fucking kind of destroyed or not destroyed fucking area of Draenor. And the problem with that is Ner'zhul is in Draenor. So how did they ever resolve that? I played through all the content that I could because once again in Draenor is when they released this main quest being hidden behind time. You have to log in weekly to get your next fucking main campaign quest for the content. Why? Don't do that. Ooh. Anyway, then you move to Legion, and Legion's cool, but it resolves, but it's also tied to Draenor because Gul'dan's there, and he's kind of a huge part of the whole expansion and thing, and it's like all the Illidan shit is cool. Being able to see him finally get the better of Sargeras is cool. And there's a lot of shit. It's like, that's when I feel like Legion is when, narratively, they began to pull it back on tracks. But it's because they're dipping back into the well. They're going back to Legion shit. And that's Warcraft 3. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem I have is within that is a perfect opportunity to rework Outland. Right? Rework Outland into current content. There's so many opportunities with this company to, instead of stacking shit onto the sandwich, what this company needs to understand is that all the quality of life improvements aren't the problem. Like going back to fucking dated graphics and no group finder and no raid finder and ridiculous grindy difficulty, ridiculous grindy numbers and walkbacks to instances and horrible wipes based on the decisions of one fuck up, things like that. Instead of taking that stuff out of the sandwich and all the content out of the sandwich and just saying like, okay, well now here's this sandwich that just has ham on it, or this sandwich that has everything in the world on it, and it doesn't need to, because what we're gonna do, instead of just taking bits and pieces out and making it a tastier meal, we just want to overbloat it with shit. And that's the problem. Like, World of Warcraft has too much content in it that is like in a time fucking portal back in and literally in the case of Draenor, quite literally is in a time portal. So you have this massive amount of content that just doesn't get reworked. Cataclysm was a good move, but instead of moving that forward with the world, continuing that with the next expansion, changing the starting quest, adding narratively a different story, it just stayed with Deathwing. And so unless you're at the end of the game, you're not getting that experience and you're not getting the new story. And you have to, the thing about all the content is it's so boring to progress because of the stunning of the skill tree that took place towards the tail end of Cataclysm. When you took the talent tree and made it fucking 6 talents, and you took everyone's toolkit and simplified it down to like, my fucking warrior I think has 2 pages on his toolkit. 2 fucking pages. My warrior who dual wields 2-handed weapons can't stun someone. What the fuck? Anyway. So, and I feel like there's a complacency on the part of the hardcore customer, the ones that have handed over money month after month, more money on top of that to buy gold and these cosmetic mounts and things. And I feel like that complacency and that willingness to have mediocrity is the same as with Destiny and that community. I feel that at the end of the day, if that's enough for the people that are dumping the most money into the game, if mediocrity is enough, then like there is no push forward or willingness to push forward. And that Classic is a solution to a problem that Blizzard doesn't understand, and I don't think it's going to be as successful as they think it's going to be. I think that most of the people who play at hardcore are going to be hardcore enthusiasts of the Classic version of World of Warcraft. There's nothing against them. I'm just saying you're gonna have to put up with a lot of things and sacrifices towards the quality of life graphically, quality of life performance-wise, quality of life with group finder, guild finder, raid finder, being able to do the content without sitting in a city and talking to nerds for fucking 8 hours of your life. That's why, for me personally, I just think that it needs a restructure. World of Warcraft needs another cataclysm, but it needs a cataclysm that doesn't sacrifice the complexity at the expense of... It's just, why? And I know why, and I hate it, but I'm not going to say it because all it does is piss people off. But sometimes if it's enough and it's too complex, then you need to make it simple. And if it's too complex, then people are going to be critically thinking while they're playing your game. And if people are critically thinking while they're playing your game, they're going to see the unnecessary time waste that you're putting in their way. These artificial brick walls that are only there to hinder the player's progress through the zone, through the content that they've already bought, through the shit that they own, at the expense of drawing it out, at the expense of the player, in order to reach, greedily for their wallet, for the next month's payment, and the next month's payment, and reach for their pocket, for the next gold purchase, the next mount purchase, the next, 8 months worth of subscription so they can get a special mount that's ugly as fuck. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like at the end of the day, World of Warcraft will never reach its true potential that it could reach with its story, with its gameplay, with all of it being in, because at the end of the day, it's a victim of its complacent player base who say, this is good enough, take all my money, and its subscription-based business model that adds artificial brick walls just to draw out the next month's payment. That's it for me, Jax. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We're working on some other stuff, but I just want to get that out of the way. I'm probably done playing this game. I hit this point last night on my Demon Hunter where I hit 120, and I was playing through the Alliance shit, kind of getting into that side of the story. The problem with this is I've already done it all. Like, not the story. I didn't do the Alliance story, but I did these zones. I did these dailies. I did these grinds, and I don't want to do them again because they're not fun to do. They feel like a chore to do, and that's a big problem for me. Is I used to have fun when I played Warcraft, even with these time walls, because at least these time walls weren't stopping me from flying in the end game zones. At least while I still had reason to be there. By the time you get flying in Battle for Azeroth, you will be done with the content, unless you're one of these maniacs who does the same shit over and over again and gets off on it. And that's a problem, Blizzard. You designed this world for me to eventually fly in. Why are you waiting until I'm done with the content to give me flying? You fucking idiots. Why do you hate professions? Why do I have to be a blacksmith if I'm a warrior? Why do I have to, why can't I make awesome purple things with raid materials and sell that shit? Why? Because they decide. And It's all based around that bleed, that slow bleed, and it's disrespectful, and it's the same thing Destiny does, and it's the same thing a lot of these companies do. But in my opinion, there's a way to do it that isn't disrespectful to your player, and I think plenty of companies have shown that even for free, they're able not to cross that line and flip you off and tell you that you've got to come back tomorrow because there's nothing to do today. It's just straight up lazy. You can figure something out other than cosmetic reputation grinding reasons. Just to get a mount. That's why I'm grinding this reputation for 2 months. For a fucking mount. That is the exact same character model as several others, just reskinned. It'll run the same. All it does is it has a different coat of paint over the top of it. Fucking lazy, dude. That's it for me. Love you guys. Till next time, stay awesome, stay safe. And as always, thanks for fucking chilling, hanging out. It means a lot. Take care, everybody.